Hey, what's up, everyone? Good morning. Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and we have a little bit of coin news for the week. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So first things first, silver and gold kind of retracing here in the last 10 days. Last week, there's been a lot of talk about recession fears, and it's kind of gone back and forth. I think it was probably end of the week, and this is kind of what stopped the slide because silver had dropped down to about just over $22 an ounce. As of today, I mean we're no better than where we were last Friday, and we were I think at like $22.68 as of right to this moment. Gold trading for under $1,900 for the first time in a long while. So the $2,000 gold, we're saying goodbye to that for now. So with recession fears, when there's a recession, people really begin to think about ways they could park their money. Precious metals has long been kind of like one of those tried and true investment areas. People tend to want to do the more physical side of the precious metals than the paper side. But of course, the paper side's getting all sorts of action. As of right now, premiums are down, to where they should be. Generics trading in, maybe $2-3 above spot, which I kind of want to see it close to spot or maybe $1 or so over that, kind of like where it should be. All the premium sovereign stuff, of course, still has a nicer premium on them, whether you like it or not. Silver Eagle's trading for about, I don't know, $6 above spot, somewhere around there. Not out of the question, you're still getting Silver Eagles for right around $28-29 an ounce right now. Gold trading close to spot. Platinum always has a stupid premium on them, so again, it's really the prerogative of the people. Now, if the recession fears kind of go away, then we're going to continue to see this slide in both the silver and gold until the next kind of like news wave happens. Back early summer, it was all about the failing banks. The Silicon Valley Bank going under, things like that. So there's little micro events, during the course of a year or throughout time that will negatively or positively affect how much silver and gold goes for. Okay. And stacking these days is incredibly popular. So, there is certainly a pulse. There's a bunch of other YouTube content creators that know a whole lot more than I do. They get into the intricacies of, how these things are being traded. I only know kind of like the surface areas of that, and that's probably why I'm more on the numismatic side of the hobby than I am the actual PM trader type, guy. But that's my kind of like my 2 cents there. I'm just kind of sitting back monitoring because right now everything just seems a little stale. We'll just see where we go from there. Another big part of the news for the week, the Pittsburgh A&A, went off without a hitch. One of the most successful shows of the year, and one of the big pieces of news coming from the event is CAC grading is on. They are officially on. I was able to grab one of these CAC Pittsburgh A&A sample slabs right here. And it's funny because it's kind of like a first come, first serve. They announced it on the PA when the CAC booth, and they actually have two separate CAC booths set up. One for actually CAC grading, and the other one for giving away these things. So they had obviously a line of people. You had to get in line as soon as you could to grab one of these. You also get, I left it over there somewhere. They give you a packet, a really nice presentation packet about the CAC grading process and one of these, and then you had to put your information into their database, so that way you can get a second one. Now, partners of CAC Rating, they had the opportunity to get multiples of these. It's kind of like if you know someone on the inside, you're able to get multiples. Not that it was a big deal or anything, but I especially love to play on the fact that they used a Pennsylvania statehood quarter for the event in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So it was really cool. So it's rumored thousands of these were made, and at first glance, the slab is as thick as an old generation NGC holder. I mean, they are super thick and fat. The construction of the slab is actually really well built. Even says USA right there, showing our pride in our craftsmanship on these things. These, from what I understand, are not particularly easy to crack open. So if you need to crack this thing open to submit to, say, a PCGS or NGC, if it came down to that, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time trying to crack this open compared to, say, a PCGS or NGC slab. Another thing to point out that, the Whatnot booth where I was hanging out at prior to the Great Off Challenge, which, by the way, if you haven't heard, our team won. We were right next door to the CAC slab giveaway booth, and the line ran right next to us. So you always hear kind of like, because your ears are buzzing, to trends and rumors and things like that that's happening. And there were a number of people that were walking by. And before these things begin to get warm in their pockets, they're flipping them on eBay, and right out of the gate, they were selling these for about $150 to $200 within moments of grabbing one of these sample slabs from that booth. And I'm happy to say that today, as of Thursday, August, whatever we're at, 17th, these things, the Pittsburgh A&A ones, because they made a buttload of them, have dropped down to about $25 to $30. So you could obtain a CAC sample slab for around that price range, which I think is a very affordable entry. I don't see these dropping particularly too much further, as sample slabs have kind of like this tendency to be worth more over time because it's the first gen. The first gen of anything when it comes to grading is going to have carry a huge premium. And even though if they made a few thousand of these, considering that the coin world is huge and big, and CAC grading begins to take off, then we're going to see more of these fall off the marketplace, and prices will just continue to go up. But if the company fails, that's also kind of the other side of it all. People tend to like, relics of companies that have disappeared into obscurity. Now, I will tell you that John Albanese and his company, CAC Grading, they're still going to be doing the green and gold beans. So if you had a PCGS or NGC coin that you wanted to send there, as long as you're a member of CAC, which there's only, I think, about 1,000. Here, let me get rid of this. There's only 1,000 signees to CAC Rating, and no more than that. So you really have to know someone that's subscribed to CAC for their certification service. They are still doing that right now, and there might be a time, because there's been talk that they are going to do away with that. But as of right now, they're doing both the grading and they're doing the certification service. So, that's it. I'll let you guys know. There's a Virginia Statehood Quarter version of the sample slab, but it says inaugural edition. It doesn't say Pittsburgh A&A. Those ones are currently trading for about $50 to $60, maybe a little bit more. There's just a lot less of them. But yeah, there's been talk about the first couple low serial number samples, or maybe not samples, but just regular coins that were graded by CAC. They're already buzzing as far as like this huge price dollar figure for just regular coins. So that's pretty cool to hear about. And again, probably way out of my price range. And again, sample slabs aren't for everyone. It's a very esoteric, very niche type of item that people do collect, because people want the coins, they want less of the plastic around it. You know, it's always been buy the coin, not the holder. All right, so that's CAC rating. We're beginning to see some of that product out there outside of sample slabs in the secondary market. I have a 2023 UNC Peace Dollar in a Mint State 70 that's currently on the way from Blanchard Holdings. And yeah, it should be exciting to see in that CAC grading slab. So I have like notifications popping up and stuff. Another big piece of news coming from the U.S. Mint. And this one is kind of actually crazy, but I'm not at all surprised. So about 2 weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago, or somewhere around there, the U.S. Mint had released officially on their website both the Morgan and Peace Dollar proof coins. The first time that they've ever created a proof strike of both of these coins. Now, it's a very young program, okay? They did these in 2021 with really good success, but really mixed reviews because some of the coins came out in just garbage quality. People were criticizing the pre-order process in which you were pre-ordering these like 4 months ahead of when these things were released. And then when people got the coins in hand, some of the coins had roller lines and all sorts of other things going on. The Denver struck examples of the Morgan dollars as of today currently trade at over $1,000 for a perfect 70 example. And it's the only coin in the entire 2021 release that commands that kind of money because of the poor quality in which those are. So the proof versions of these are actually quite stunning. Here, let me pull out the Morgan dollar. I've shown this, but for the sake of the video, I'll show it to you. Now, the U.S. Mint had a mintage of 400,000, okay, which is 125,000 more than the UNC version that was released the month prior in July. All right, so very, very nice, crisp quality coin. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why people aren't really too big of a fan of this series among some of the other Mint releases, because the Mint also released the American Liberty coin as well. That's the new silver metal or whatever that has the bristlecone pine on the obverse and then the really pretty eagle on the reverse. I actually sold one of those on my Whatnot stream last week because I had it signed by the Mint director. So 400,000 mintage on both the Morgan and Peace Dollar, currently still available on the U.S. Mint website. They have not sold out. Now, the caveat is these things are $80 a piece. And that's kind of the big pain point with a lot of folks is that, sure, the coins are very pretty. However, for what you're getting, I think a lot of it has to do with the presentation case, which, you know, I will say this. This is a minimal effort of hyping up and producing a lot of desirability in these coins, because I think the coin, you know, is representative of the packaging that's in as well, right? They're heavily influenced to each other. I kind of would like to see a better attempt. You know, if the Mint was going to go out and use a third party to create the packaging on these, you know, they could still get a really killer deal as, say, if they use like a hard case or something maybe that's in wood, something that's representative to the classic kind of like nature to the coin, you know, and, you know, really present a full presentation that's truly worth $80. And that's the big reason why that both of these coins, ladies and gentlemen, are still available on the Mint website. You would think that these things would be sold out by now, even with a mintage of 400,000 a piece. And, you know, kind of the good effect of all this is I think the 400,000 mintage is probably spot on with these, okay? Again, you want the hype and demand. You want the nice quality of the coin out there to be front and center for the program and the product. All the while, you want to have a mintage that's high enough to meet the overall demand, all right? There's nothing wrong with having extras available. But if people were originally speccing on this coin and also the Uncoin. Uncoin sold out right away. All right, that one had 125,000 less mintage compared to the proof coin that I just showed you a second ago. I think people were really kind of like specking and hyping this one a little bit more than they should. All right, but still very pretty. I might actually go and buy one more of each. Because I intend on doing another benefit auction here. I think next week. I don't know if I could get these quick enough for that. I think if I ordered today, I might be able to. But you know, very pretty coins. Again, the price tag a little bit questionable. I would love to have seen maybe $60 or $65. Don't know how reasonable that is considering labor costs are up. I'm sure working at the mint, you get paid really well, you know, as a press operator or something like that. So again, it's like there's a lot of like little spidey spider leg type, you know, things, you know, that's attached to the price of this coin that's affecting the overall, you know, kind of process. All right. So the last final thing that I wanted to talk about is the 2023 Lincoln Cent with the extra V anomaly. Okay. And as of this week, all right, we have 4 examples graded by PCGS. All right. Here is one of the examples that's currently on eBay to the tune of $799.99 or best offer. This is a Mint State 66. It's also promoted as being from the original Discovery box, all right, where these things were being found. Now, this particular coin is located in New York, all right, which a lot of these were found in. No one had really talked about it until I began to do some discovery work as to where these are being sold at. And damn near every single one of them is coming from the state of New York, which leads me to believe that all of this originated from one supply, from one particular batch that was struck at the mint and was dropped at the New York Fed Reserve Bank and then distributed out from there. All right, so that's kind of where I'm believing that this is all coming from, is from one specific drop that happened about 4 months ago. I'm going to say right around April is when these things begin to kind of catch fire, when someone found them. You know, these have had quite a roller coaster ride of value. Okay, the highest known sold price as of now, even though we've seen one sell on great collections for over $1,100, one on eBay sold in the middle of July for $13.99. All right, and that's for a Mint State, I believe, 68 example through NGC. All right, so as far as graded coins, there's quite a bit of supply out there. Okay, I used to say that, hey, maybe you guys should probably buy up some of the raw examples and then get them graded. At the very worst, if they came back to 65, that's a few $100 extra profit. However, okay, we're not seeing the level of actual realized sales in comparison to the amount of product that's currently sitting on eBay. All right, so we're probably seeing the general interest of this coin begin to diminish. I think there was a lot more interest when there was a lot of, I guess, unknowns with it. The graders weren't really into, you know, doing anything with the coins, Annex included. So I think there was a lot more mystique and allure to the coin back when it was in its infancy. And then when Mike Diamond's article dropped on Coin World or, you know, Aeroscope or one of those publications, and then it kind of took off. All right. Annex was starting to grade them. They were the first ones out. And then NGC said, yep, hey, put me into the mix. And there you go. And then that's where the coin hit its peak, raw. I mean, you could have easily have sold one of these for between $150 and $200. And then now, today, because we're beginning to see kind of like this dwindling in the demand for these, are down to about $40 on average. All right. So if you guys had waited out, you could still find really nice, I would say, choice or gem examples for right around that $40, $50 mark. They upticked about 2 weeks ago up to like 60 to 80 bucks. And that was hot on the news that PCGS was going to recognize these as variety. All right. And it still remains to be seen if it is either a error or variety, you know. I'm all choked up. Sorry about that. But in any event, Hopefully you guys didn't pay a whole lot of money to obtain these about 2 months ago when they are at their crest. All right. But right now, I firmly believe that these things are going to continue to drop. I'm not opposed to seeing a $15 to $20 floor on these because there were so many of them made. All right. Where there's going to be any remote amount of significance to the coin is if we see our first PCGS Mint State 68, which I do not believe one exists yet. The one that I showed you is a 66. I believe there is a 67, but for the most part, it's been kind of in that grade range, and we've seen a fair amount of NGC graded 67s, which, you know, if you looked on eBay, a few of them had sold for between $500 and $550, and there's a fair amount of them available currently to buy it now for between that same price range. So that's kind of where we're at on that. Again, up to this point, it's been one of the more significant finds. I think the true rarity right now that was talked about on Numismatic News has to be the Edith Kanaka Ole American Women Quarter with the strong die clash on the obverse right in Washington's hair and ear. I mean, if you have one that has a full clash of Edith's first name right on there, I mean, that thing is ridiculous. One example sold for $500 or so, but it is not the actual coin, all right, that you want to look for. There's one that's actually a lot stronger than that, that's more impactful. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in on this video, a little bit of the coin news world for the week. I like doing these. This is a lot of fun. I like talking about just anything. And hopefully you guys keep on collecting, have fun in the hobby, most importantly. And I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Take care. And I'll see you on whatever next coin video we do. So thanks for your views and support. Peace.